The Arab Peace Initiative has offered Israel a place in the neighborhood and more. Acceptance by 57 nations, the 1/3 of the UN members that do not recognize Israel. This is true security. Security that barriers and armed forces cannot bring.
Muchos piensan distinto, sienten distinto, buscan a Dios o encuentran a Dios de diversa manera. En esta multitud, en este abanico de religiones, hay una sola certeza que tenemos para todos. Todos somos hijos de Dios.
Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the State of Israel and the Republic of Sudan have agreed to forge a peace treaty that will aim to deepen cooperation between the formerly hostile enemies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu holds a meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron at the Elysee Palace in Paris. King Abdullah II of Jordan urges President Joe Biden to rein in Israel in all that relates to the Palestinians. The State of Israel and the Republic of Sudan have agreed to forge a peace treaty that will aim to deepen cooperation between the formerly hostile enemies. Merely several hours after the African Republic of Chad inaugurated its embassy in Tel Aviv, Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen returned from the capital of Sudan, Khartoum, to announce the historic breakthrough.
לפני פחות משעה חזרתי מביקור בחרטום בירת סודן. אני שמח לבשר לכם שבמסגרת הביקור סיכמנו לחתום הסכם שלום בין סודן וישראל. סודן היא מדינה ערבית, מוסלמית ואסטרטגית מבחינת מדינת ישראל. ההסכם צפוי להיחתם השנה, והוא יהיה הסכם השלום הרביעי של ישראל לאחר הסכמי השלום עם מצרים וירדן. בביקור נפגשתי עם נשיא סודן, הגנרל עבד אל פתח אל בוראן, נפגשתי עם שר החוץ ועם בכירים נוספים.
Jerusalem's top diplomats highlighted further the fact that Sudan and Israel have been at war with one another, with Sudan actively partaking in both Israel's War of Independence and subsequent Six-Day War, and while not officially acknowledging responsibility, Israel had allegedly conducted repeated aerial strikes against Iranian weaponry shipments that were earmarked for Hezbollah and Hamas on Sudan's geographically strategic territory.
חתימת הסכם השלום תשרת את שתי המדינות. היא תחזק את הביטחון הלאומי של מדינת ישראל, היא תחזק את היציבות האזורית ותתרום לכלכלה. סודן לחמה בעבר לצד מדינות ערב נגד מדינת ישראל. היא שלחה חיילים במלחמת העצמאות בששת הימים וסייעה בעבר להעביר נשק לחמאס. בסודן כאמור נערכה ועידת חרטום שקבעה את שלושת הלאווים. לא להכרה בישראל, לא למשא ומתן עם ישראל ולא לשלום עם ישראל. היום אנחנו חוזרים לכאן עם שלושת הכנים. כן הכרה בישראל, כן משא ומתן עם ישראל וכן שלום עם ישראל. השנה אנחנו נשים סוף ל-75 שנים של עוינות עם ישראל.
As part of the agreed upon peace treaty, Foreign Minister Cohen stressed that Israel would assist Sudan in its development. Nevertheless, as was mentioned, the peace agreement would only be signed later this year once Sudan's Transitional Military Council, which currently governs in Khartoum, transfers its powers to a civilian government.
במהלך הביקור הועברה טיוטת נוסח הסכם השלום, אשר צפוי להיחתם לאחר העברת השלטון לממשלה האזרחית, שתוקם במסגרת תהליך המעבר המתנהל במדינה. מדינת ישראל תפעל לאחר החתימה לסייע במאמצי הפיתוח של סודן, בחקלאות, במים, ברפואה ועוד. חתימת הסכם שלום זה תפתח פתח לכינון יחסים עם מדינות נוספות ביבשת אפריקה, והוא אינטרס משותף של ישראל ומדינות היבשת.
Foreign Minister Cohen went on to thank Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who essentially is considered to be the architect of the agreement, as well as the Biden administration for backing the anticipated deal, since the previous administration of President Donald Trump effectively laid the groundwork for the treaty.
אני רוצה להודות לראש הממשלה בנימין נתניהו על האמון לו הוביל מהלך היסטורי זה. אני מודה לארצות הברית בראשות הנשיא ביידן על הגיבוי למהלך, ובמיוחד למזכיר המדינה בלינקן, ליועץ לביטחון לאומי סליבן ולשגריר ארצות הברית בישראל נייטס.
Meanwhile, in France, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu concluded a meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace in Paris last night, during which the two leaders discussed the threat of the Iranian nuclear program at length. Netanyahu reportedly told Macron that deterrence against Iran and its regional proxies must be enhanced. He called upon the French leader, moreover, to impose harsh sanctions on the regime in Tehran and to work toward designating the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps on the European Union's terrorist list. The Prime Minister and the French President also discussed the need to maintain regional stability, particularly in Lebanon, and to expand the circle of peace. On the Palestinian issue, President Macron offered full support for Israel's battle against terrorism, but also emphasized that unilateral steps that would escalate violence must be avoided. The French president also reiterated his firm opposition to settlement expansion, which he insisted would effectively sabotage the chances of realizing the internationally aspired two-state solution. Turning to Washington, where U.S. President Joe Biden hosted King Abdullah II of Jordan in the White House yesterday, during which the two leaders discussed Mid-Eastern issues, with chief focus on the plight of the Palestinians for statehood and the role of the Hashemite kingdom in Jerusalem. According to the royal court in Amman, the king also seized the opportunity to urge the American president to rein in Israel over potential unilateral steps, which Jordan perceives as a trigger to escalate violence on the ground that would effectively derail the prospects of a two-state solution. With regard to the latter point, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre highlighted that Washington received assurances from Jerusalem that it would act responsibly to avoid unnecessary escalation.
We've been very clear about this. I know I've gotten many questions about the Israeli government. And look, we have gotten assurances from the Prime Minister that when it comes to specifics, policies, when it comes to how what is decided, the policy of the government, that he has repeatedly emphasized that he will set the policy for his government. Right? This is something that he's been very clear on.
It is important to know that the Israeli Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem highlighted that while it continues to maintain a responsible policy, it will not waver from fulfilling election pledges, a message that was unequivocally relayed to the U.S. administration. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. If you're blessed by any of our productions, please consider making a financial contribution, which would then allow us to continue our operations here in Jerusalem. Separately, we would like to encourage you, pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide, and for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you again on Monday at the same time.